We're going to talk today about providing excellent customer service, which is really the key to high income over the course of your selling career. One of my favorite quotes is that if the rate of change on the outside of your company exceeds the rate of change on the inside, the end is near, by Jack Welch. And this is really true today because things are changing so rapidly that customer service has now moved up as being the most important single factor in repeat business. Now, no matter what you do in your company or your organization, your job title is problem solver, and your job function is customer service or customer satisfaction. If someone were to ask you what you do, you say, I'm a customer satisfaction specialist. Now, your customer is anyone who you depend on for your continued success and security in your job. This means your boss can be your customer. The people you work with who support you can be your customers. But of course, the customer who buys your product in the marketplace is your primary customer. Now, your customer is also anyone who depends on you for their success or security. Remember, we said that the difference between a customer and a client is a customer is someone that you sell to, and a client is someone that you protect or take care of. And this is the attitude you have to develop. The very best people and the very best companies are obsessed with customer service, with making their customers happy. The customer is the most important single person in their thinking. They think about customers all the time. Everything they do is strategized and planned to satisfy their customers better in some way. As Sam Walton said, the real boss is always the customer, and he can fire us at any time by simply deciding to spend his money somewhere else. Your ability to develop and maintain a reputation for high levels of service excellence is the key to the success and prosperity of your organization and to success in your career. In this lesson, you're going to learn the 4 levels of customer service, the 4 levels of product, how to develop a customer service strategy, and how to determine your quality ranking in the marketplace. So let's get going. Your ability to develop and maintain a reputation for high levels of service excellence is the key to the success and prosperity of your organization and to success in your sales career. So let's start off. What is your job exactly? And the answer is your job is to create and keep a customer. It's first of all to make a sale, and second of all to hold on to that customer for as long as that customer buys and uses your product or service. Now, the typical company today only hears from 4% of unhappy customers. What that means is that for every complaint you get, there's 20 people who have the same complaint. 96% of unhappy customers go away quietly, and 91% never return. The most expensive customer of all is the one who says nothing and goes away and never comes back. You see, it's very, very expensive to get a customer for the first time, so it's very expensive to lose them once you get them. We also know this: an unhappy customer tells 8 to 10 other customers. Today, with the internet, an unhappy customer can tell 800 to 1,000 other customers. Today, people can go on the internet and get customer satisfaction ratings for you, your company, your product or service, and your people in a mouse click. So it's really important that you don't have unhappy customers out there. Here's the good news. If you have an unhappy customer, 70% of them will buy again if their problem is solved. If you will find a way to solve their problem and take care of them and show you that you do care about them, 70% will come back. 95% will buy again if their problem is solved immediately. Now, this is quite amazing. They find that if a customer has a complaint and you solve it quickly, 95% will come back, and they'll actually be more loyal to your company than they would have been if they had not had a complaint in the first place. But if you solve the problem slowly, only 70% will come back. And if you solve it really slowly, none of them will come back at all. Here's the recent discovery. It cost 10 times as much for you to get a new customer today in the form of advertising, promotion, sales commissions, delivery, setup, as it is to keep an old customer and to keep that customer happy. What this means is it costs 1/10 of the time, energy, and money for you to get a new customer as to keep an old customer and keep them happy. So successful companies are companies that are much more profitable than others, and the reason they're profitable is because their costs of customer acquisition are much lower than new companies who have to spend a fortune to get a customer for the first time. Now, the success of your business today is determined by what is called your quality ranking in the marketplace. 50 years of research at Harvard University found that there's a direct relationship between how customers in the marketplace think about your company in terms of quality and how profitable you are on your balance sheet. So then they ask in detail, what is your definition of quality? And what they found is the definition of quality is the product or service that you sell combined with the way the product or service is sold and delivered. In fact, 20% is the product, 80% is the way that you treat your customers when they buy it and after they own it. A company like Tiffany's, for example, charges enormous amounts for jewelry. They charge 5 and 10 times as much for a simple silver ring that comes from Tiffany. But they service you and they take such wonderful care of you that people line up to buy from Tiffany day after day after day because of the way the product is delivered. Here's another example. Imagine going to a beautiful restaurant. Now, you could get the same amount of food at McDonald's for $5 or $10 that you get at a restaurant for $200. But you pay $200 at a fancy restaurant gladly because of the way they take care of you at the restaurant. So keep thinking about that. It's not enough to have a high quality product. You've got to have wonderful customer service at the same time. So here's a question. What is your quality ranking? Find out. How do you determine your quality ranking? Well, you can hire a company or you can do it yourself and just call customers in the marketplace and say, how would they rank you in the marketplace in comparison to your competitors on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, if you rank as a 9 or a 10, you're a very successful business. If you rank as a 5 or a 6, then you ask them, what would we have to do to get a higher ranking? And customers will tell you exactly what you need to do to satisfy them even more in the future. So make a decision today to improve your ranking in the marketplace, because a higher quality ranking enables your company to charge more, it enables you to get more, it enables you to make sales faster, it enables you to earn higher profits, and enables you to grow faster. A perfect example that we like to use is a company like Apple. Apple has one of the highest quality ratings in the world. As a result, people pay high amounts to buy Apple products, and they come back and they buy more and more. And the Apple retail stores have some of the highest sales per square foot of any stores in the history of the world. Because why? It's because of their reputation. Now, there are 4 levels of customer service for any company, and you need to know what they are. The first level is customer satisfaction. This means that customers are satisfied with you. This does not help you a lot. It's the minimum requirement for survival, because customer dissatisfaction will cause you to go out of business very quickly in a competitive society. The second level of customer satisfaction is where you exceed customer expectations, where you do more than the customer thought. You do something that causes the customer to be happy. And exceeding customer expectations is the minimum requirement for growth. Let me give you an example. Marriott Hotels is famous for this. Room service, by the way, in a hotel is a very good measure of how well the hotel is managed and operated. So you call room service in Marriott and you say, I'd like to order breakfast. They take the order and they say, it will be up to you in 30 to 40 minutes. And you say, thank you very much. And then the order is always delivered in 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even 10 minutes. And a person is just getting ready, or sometimes they're in the shower, and the door rings, and there's the breakfast you just ordered 10 or 15 minutes ago. And it causes people to go, wow. And as a result, they go back to Marriott over and over. And this is one of the reasons why Marriott is one of the most successful hotel chains in the world, because of little exercises where they exceed customer expectations. Now, the third level of customer satisfaction is called customer delight. Now, this is the chief aim of top people and top companies and top salespeople. Customer delight is where you do something totally unexpected that makes your customers brighten up and makes them happy. Sometimes something as simple as phoning the customer at home after they've bought from you and asking, "How was your experience with our company today? Was everything okay? Is there anything that we could do to serve you better in the future?" People go, "Geez, why is that?" Because nobody does it. I go to a couple of restaurants, 2 restaurants, and both of them amaze me because on a regular basis, they phone up 2 or 3 days after I've had dinner there, and they ask me if I was happy. Is there anything that they could do to make me happier next time? I go, wow. Well, I know one thing. I'm going back to that restaurant very soon, and I'm taking my friends. Now, the next level, the 4th level, the highest of all, is called customer amazement. This is the key to rapid growth and profitability. This is where you do things that amaze your customers so they tell everybody else that they know. You're not going to believe what happened to me. You're not going to believe what this company did. How could you find ways to delight and amaze your customers? Because these are the key to rapid sales, to higher prices, to loyal customers, and to better referrals and recommendations. Now, Disney Corporation's service standards are among the highest in the world. In fact, I just came back from a Disney cruise and I was just amazed. And my kids just went to a Disney resort and they were just amazed. Disney resorts use the acronym DREAM, D-R-E-A-M, as a button that all Disney employees wear. And this stands for Disney Resort Experiences Are Magic. And everyone at Disney is trained to take such good care of people that they are happy. They call Walt Disney World, Disneyland, they call it the happiest place on earth. And who is it the most happy for? It's for kids, but also adults. So how can you make dealing with you and your company a dream experience? How can you make it so your customers are so happy that they want to deal with you over and over? Now, there are 4 levels of the product or service from the point of view of the customer. The first is what we call the generic product. The product or service is, and it does what it's supposed to do. For example, if you order a hamburger, it's a generic product. If you buy shoes, they're shoes for your feet. The second part of the product is called the expected product or service. These are things that are not written down, but they are expected by the customer, and they're essential to customer satisfaction. For example, if you go into McDonald's, you expect them to be friendly and polite. If you go to a restaurant or you call any company, you expect them to be nice to you. It's not written down anywhere, but if they're not nice to you, if your expectations are frustrated, then you become very unhappy with the company. So it's really important for you to know, what do my customers expect to make them happy? Because frustrated expectations is the major source of negative emotions in life and business. Now, the third type of product is what is called the augmented or additional product or service. This is when you add more to the product or service than the customer expected. This is when you do something that causes the customer to think, wow, this is a great product or service. And the final level of product is what is called the potential product. In other words, what could you put into your product or service to make it so much better that your customers would consider you to be the best and single supplier? And what you could do here is limited only by your imagination. So top businesses and top business people and salespeople are always thinking, how could I delight and amaze my customers and do things that they don't even expect? By the way, quick answer, speed is considered to be one of the most fabulous things that you can do for customers. Customers love speed, and speed causes them to be both amazed and delighted. Now, here's a rule. Your success in life and in business will be in direct proportion to what you do after you do what you are expected to do. It's what you do extra. It's that little bit more that no one expects that gives you an edge over your competition. There's an expression developed by Jan Carlson of Scandinavian Air Service, this is the airline, called moments of truth. And a moment of truth is something that occurs each time the customer comes in contact with you or your company. Moments of truth are the critical determinant of whether the customer is happy and whether they buy from you again. Now, there are physical moments of truth. For example, your building, your parking lot, your sales materials, things that people can touch or see. These make contact, visual and emotional contact with your customers. For example, in Disneyland, they have a philosophy that the grounds will be perfectly clean. Not a match, not a piece of paper, not a leaf, nothing. And every Disney employee is always watching and looking and picking up anything. So if you go to Disney, by a Disney ship or a Disney resort, you'll find that you can almost eat off the ground because they are so clean. And they're always cleaning. They're always sweeping. They're always steam cleaning. They're always brushing. They're fastidious about cleanliness because why? Parents are really concerned about cleanliness for their children. And so something like cleanliness, when you see a Disney product or service, you think, wow, this is clean, it's beautiful, it's carefully designed. Now, there are personal moments of truth as well. Telephone manners. When you phone up, the person is cheerful and friendly. They're warm and they're responsive to you. When you go to the counter or you go into the store, the people that deal with you are very nice. When you go to the doctor's office or the dentist's office, everybody treats you like you're a very special and important person. Now, another moment of truth is you. Each contact that you have with the customer in any form is a moment of truth. This is a moment that determines if you make the customer happy or sad. It determines if the customer buys from you or not. It determines if the customer buys from you again or gives you recommendations and referrals. Every single contact with the customer is important, and the rule is everything counts. Everything with a customer counts. Everything touches their emotions and affects their thinking. Everything that you do or fail to do has an effect on your customer. So here's a key question. How do you want to be described by your customers? What words would you like your customers to use when they think about you and they talk about you to others? Would you like them to say that you are a wonderful company, tremendous products, excellent customer service, friendly people, quick response? If you want customers to say that, what do you have to do each day to make sure that you leave that impression in their mind after they have contacted or communicated with you? So let's talk about developing a customer service strategy. Here's the process. First, who are your key customers today, and who will they be in the future, and who do you want them to be in the future? Clarity is essential. You must be very clear about who your customers are and who they're going to be. Then the second part is ask, what are their expectations for service quality? In other words, if you're operating a fast food operation, people expect quick, clean, fast service. If you are operating a restaurant, they expect something very, very different in terms of leisure and timing and the attention that you pay to them. So keep asking, what do they expect? And are these expectations realistic? And how can you deliver on their expectations? Set minimum standards for service on yourself and on the company. For example, many companies have a service standard that they answer the telephone within 2 rings. They respond to an email within 2 hours. They deliver a product within 24 hours. One of the greatest success stories in the world is called Zappos.com. And if you've never bought from Zappos.com, now you should. They have 1,000 different brands of shoes, virtually every kind of shoe available in the world. And when you email to Zappos and you choose a shoe that you want to buy, it arrives at your door the next morning with a receipt and a return receipt. So if you don't like it, you can send it back. And Zappos pays for the delivery both ways. Their philosophy was that they had to get people to buy from them without having tried on the shoes, especially women who are very reluctant to buy shoes that they haven't tried on. So what they said is, I'll tell you what, if you order shoes from us, we'll deliver them overnight, and if you're not happy, you can send them right back and there's no charge. They built up a $1.1 billion business and sold the entire business to Amazon.com and made the owner, Tony Hsieh, one of the richest men in America. Because of why? Because they took such good care of their customers. So here's some examples of customer service strategies practiced by top companies. One of my favorites is Domino's Pizza. They built up the biggest pizza restaurant chain in the world internationally by offering fast services, 30-minute delivery or you don't have to pay. And they developed their entire system so that they could take orders and deliver it within 30 minutes anywhere within their market areas. Another example would be Nordstrom or LL Bean. These companies have become enormous competitors in their market because they offer 100% satisfaction guaranteed. You can buy a product from them, and at any time you can give the product back, and they give you 100% of your money back. There's a famous story of Nordstrom's where someone walked in and brought in 4 snow tires in California and gave them back and said, I don't want these tires, I don't need them, I don't like them, I want my money back. And the person at Nordstrom said, okay, and paid him the money back, and the person walked away. But here's the interesting thing, that Nordstrom store had never sold snow tires in their history because they were in California. However, they did have one store in Alaska that sold snow tires, so they simply, without any questions, guaranteed and took the tires back. They then put this in all their advertising, and their sales went up by hundreds of millions of dollars. Many companies offer 24-hour turnarounds on orders. If you buy something, you get it in 24 hours. Some companies will offer 2-hour turnarounds, which is a fabulous way to build customer loyalty with very impatient people. Another customer service strategy is zero defects. It's when you say that whatever you order from us, you must be perfectly happy or there's no charge. We'll take it back, we'll replace it, and if you're not happy, we'll give you your money back. Federal Express has built a $60 billion business with a very simple customer service strategy. When you absolutely, positively need to have it delivered overnight. And so what they do is they deliver your letters and packages overnight, except when you specify longer periods of time to reduce postage costs. Imagine, though, if you need something sent, you can send it overnight anywhere within your market area. So set standards that you can meet and get everyone in your business committed to those standards. Get everyone in your business committed to making your customers happy that they decided to deal with you. Tell your customers your service quality standards and then live up to them. Say, this is what we promised to do for you, and if we do not keep up to our standards, you tell us and we will respond immediately. So here's a great question. What does a customer really want? And the answer is the same as you. Customers want friendly and cheerful service. Customers want good advice and good guidance in making a buying decision. Customers want promptness of service and delivery and billing. Customers want an easy transaction. They want convenience. They want no hassle. Customers want a quick response to problems or complaints, as we talked about before. Especially because customers are emotional, they want to be valued and appreciated. They want to be made to feel important. And everything that you can do to make your customers feel important is going to cause them to like you and trust you and want to do more business with you in the future. So, here's a key question. Who determines your quality service standards? And the answer, your competitors. Your competitors set the standards that you have to meet and exceed in order to survive and thrive in your marketplace. Your competitors' services become the minimums that you must exceed to win and keep customers, because customers are always comparing and they always go to the companies that take better care of them than other companies. What are customer complaints and dissatisfaction? We call these moments of truth. A moment of truth is when the customer is unhappy for any reason. This is where you get a chance to demonstrate what your company is really made of. This is where you demonstrate your quality and character as a person. This is where you demonstrate your organization as a company. If you are really, really good, when a customer complaint happens, this is when you go into action. Now here's the rule. Customer complaints are inevitable. Only your responses are optional. You're always going to get complaints. The only question is, how are you going to handle them? Customer complaints are an opportunity to build customer loyalty. Why? It's because if you respond quickly to customer complaints, they will be more loyal to you than they would have been if they hadn't complained in the first place. So here's the strategy. When a customer complains, hear it out completely. Don't defend. Just ask questions. Just listen. Exactly what happened. I want to understand clearly what happened before I say anything. Next, empathize with the customer. Say these words. I understand exactly how you feel. If I were in your situation, I would feel the same way. And then apologize and say, I'm sorry, or we're sorry, that should not have happened. And then offer to solve the problem immediately. If you will do this, ask questions, listen, accept responsibility, apologize, and then solve the problem quickly, people will come back to you over and over again. If the complaint or problem is big enough, make amends. That means do something extra for the customer to tell them that you're sorry. I remember once I bought a Dell computer and I had problems with it. So I called them and I said I'm having these problems, and it was fairly new. They came over within one day. They took my old computer away and they replaced it with a brand new computer, and they upgraded the computer with new software at no charge. They had one of the best reputations in the world for taking care of their customers, because there's always going to be problems with computers, but when they had a computer problem, they dealt with it so fast, and they did such a beautiful job that people bought tens of billions of dollars of computers from them by email. Now, with regard to an ongoing service strategy, continually ask your customers these questions. Number one, keep asking them, how are we doing? Be open to feedback. And then ask your customers, how can we improve next time? Keep asking for ideas for improvement. And then keep asking, what are your expectations of us? What do you expect us to do for you to make you happy, so that you're clear what it is that they expect so that you can deliver it? Another question is, how can we increase the value of our services to you today? Always be looking for ways to improve the quality of your customer service, and you'll dramatically increase your repeat business and your referrals and recommendations. So resolve to give the very best customer service of any person or company in your industry. Decide to be the best. Decide what excellent customer service would be and look like, and then get started putting it into your business. Now, here are some questions that you can ask and answer to build a customer service strategy for your organization and for your selling activities. Question number one, what are 3 ways to respond to a customer complaint? Question number 2, what do your customers consider to be quality in terms of your product or service? Question number 3, which of your actions toward them do your customers value the most? Question number 4, how can you use excellent customer service as a strategy to differentiate your company from its competitors? Question number 5, what do you do or can you do to delight and amaze your customers every time? Question number 6, what are the most important moments of truth in your relationships with your customers? Question number 7, what words do you want your customers to use when they describe you to other potential customers? What do you want people to say about you when you're not there? Remember, your reputation, what your customers say about you in the marketplace, is the most valuable asset you have in increasing sales and getting referrals. And finally, one last question. What one thing are you going to do differently to service your customers better as a result of what you have learned in this session?